Associated Press, this is 5 years ago, but hundreds of articles you can pull up where they're on record with C-130s and women and children they've grabbed at gunpoint, loading them up, and the UN does it, flying them to Thailand, Saudi Arabia, Israel, where they're actual sex slaves, and sometimes they snuff film them. This came out on Italian TV. This was Russian-connected gangsters that were doing that, blowing the children's heads off. And they were selling the videos to Hollywood rich people. It came out in a few articles in the U.S. They were selling the videos for as much, they reported, for $50,000 per VHS. This was like 5-6 years ago. VHS tapes of, I'm not going to even say what the Italian news blurred it and played it on national TV, and they actually got fired for it. But it was 2-year-olds being raped and then having their heads blown off with revolvers. This is the type of stuff. So again, in this criminal, there's Town Hall, running at recess, banned. They banned running at recess, and the police arrest you. There you go. Town Hall, George Will. The police arrest you. So the police arrest you for running or for playing tag, arrest you. But the Fortune 100 defense contractors, the UN, just type in UN's sexual abuse, UN raping children. I mean, it's every day it's in the news. These are brigades of pedophile sickos who love getting paid near minimum wage and stomping around in the worst cesspits in the world because they can kill and murder whoever they want. It is hunting, raping, killing, slaughtering, raping women, full-grown men, children. You can type into the search engine, UN troops barbecuing children, UN troops raping. I mean, it's all there. Newspaper articles, all of it. I mean, just, it is a hell force. UN troops in South Sudan raping children. Daily Telegraph. That was from when? Yeah, that's 2007. But again, I mean, it's just unlimited. That's just the first thing they pulled up. So this is how the criminals operate. The opium is publicly grown by our troops and loaded on C-130s and shipped into Europe and the United States. Pat Tillman wrote letters home saying he was going to come back and talk about it, so they just murdered him. You're talking about $500 billion just in opium out of there, another $500 billion, same number, in total drugs brought into the U.S. every year. There's BBC, peacekeepers abusing children. They're loading them on C-130s. The highest dollar ones are Southern and Eastern and Western European children. And they're engaged in every evil under the sun publicly, but all these Hollywood people who are concerned about sex trafficking, that's the big trendy thing now, the system always takes over the fight against breast cancer, the fight against children being kidnapped, the fight against any abuse that's going on, so they can control the debate and control the advocacy and then collect money from the public that they actually use to shut down cowboy grassroots traffickers in drugs, in organs, in diamonds, in children. These are models that are used. And they have movies against the blood diamonds, which is really... Now, there it is. Aid workers raping children, major charities running child kidnapping rings. That's good, guys. I mean, people can go find it for themselves because every time they put the articles on screen, I kind of turn and start reading them on air. It's an unlimited, bottomless black pit directly into the vortex of hell with unlimited criminal government, rendition flights, torture, torturing children. Why do you think at every one of the torture bases in Iraq, the Army's own reports, just type in Army report on torture and abuse at Abu Ghraib, and you will get the big PDF. Read the hundreds of pages. The phosphoric acid on the children, all of it. I mean, this is Dungeon Keeper, Jeffrey Dahmer, beyond anything you can imagine. And why do you think it goes on everywhere? Because it's what they like to do. And they sell you on torture like it's a good thing. to get the bad guys to keep you safe. When in truth, this is a society of psychos and pit demons who want to openly do what they do safely because they want the big bonanza America and Europe, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. They want to do here what they've done all over the world. Now, this is how it works. They publicly, in the 80s and 90s, got caught shipping cocaine in and still run it all in and still constantly get caught. Nobody gets in trouble. The government does. And select corporations and the banks that launder it. They're bringing in the opium, all of it. And when they get caught, their new thing, I know I marvel every day about this, is to think about this. Have Fox, CNN, MSNBC, BBC, ABC News all make excuses that the troops help grow the opium. Because if they don't, the Al-Qaeda will, and they'll get the money. That's what Brzezinski says in his book, Between Two Ages, written back in the 70s. Let me give you the actual publishing date. I'm going from memory that it was written in the 70s. I did read this when I was in college. Yeah, 1970. He says, the governments of the world control organized crime because that makes it manageable. That's how they sell the excuse. Makes it manageable, grabbing kids off playgrounds and putting them on C-130s to take them so Saudi Arabian royalty can rape them and blow their heads off if they feel like it. No, the government has raced to the bottom and is purely satanic and demonic and filthy, serial-killing, murdering demons. None of us are safe. Hell has been released, okay? It's already going on. The New World Order isn't coming. It's already here. Everybody gets upset when the troops shoot dogs or blow people's sheep up in Afghanistan or Iraq for fun, or torture a puppy on video, because we haven't been taught, haven't seen simulated murders of dogs millions of times on TV. We've seen simulated murders of humans where we see it as entertainment now. We've lost our humanity. But through animals and all these groups wanting to protect animals, which I think is fine, we can find our humanity. What about children? What about a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, grabbed out of their backyard, grabbed out of the public school? Or a lot of times they have CPS come in and shop for the kids they want, and the kid just disappears. Remember 6, 7 years ago, CNN was reporting thousands of children missing that CPS had taken. They were finding them buried and dead and in foreign countries. And then that politically went to the top of the CPS, where the entire leadership were convicted pedophiles. And then the story stopped right there. It stopped because it went too high. See, there's not complete control in the media yet. There's still reporters that want to get the truth out. But when they find out just how bad it is, when it breaks through to the other side, see, that's why I say I've seen reality. I've really studied what's going on, and it's so totally hellish. All you can do is resist it. There is not a discussion about backing off. A lot of people hear me talk about these horrid things, and they say, well, we better shut up. We better go along with this. These people sound really evil. Don't you get it, folks? That's how they win. That's why they've been winning. Because what they do is so horrible, people are intimidated, people can't believe the scope of it. You come face to face with something so horrible, so totally evil, that you can't believe it. How many times in criminology have you read where the neighbor seems so nice, so friendly, drives a nice car, business suit, and they dig up 30 bodies in the backyard? And then there's videos, and photos the person has of them torturing people. And the neighbors are like, I had coffee with him. He took care of my son. He watered our plants. I knew him for 20 years. I can't believe it. You better believe it. You better believe it real good. Because I'm going to say it again, and finally it's starting to get into the news. And I want to think that we're actually getting some of this going. Here's the London Independent. Research into mutant flu must go on. Scientists dismiss U.S. group's fear of the creation of airborne H5N1 virus could inspire bioterrorism. As if it's going to inspire it. They've made it. They've made mousepox, Ebola, airborne, that kills in every case, depending on what pathogen, 91, 92, 93, 94. Some of these kill 99% of the target mammalian species they're made for. I know I keep harping on this. I mean, the police are arresting people that run at recess all over the United States. You see, you think I exaggerate? I said pull up articles about them banning running. They pull up a bunch of articles where they're arresting 5-year-olds for running. Where they're arresting 7-year-olds for tag. Where this is going on. Meanwhile, they're grabbing children worldwide, raping them, and then chopping their heads off, blowing their heads off on video. And I'll never forget, I walked out of P.F. Chang's about 3-4 years ago, and there were a whole bunch of cops that had been in there eating in uniform. They were all laughing and stuff. And I said, hey, how are you guys doing? They go, oh, Alex Jones. And of course, these were senior guys, all arrogant, drunk on their power. Because lower-level cops always seem to be better. And I'm like, hey, that's the DynCorp building right there. They got a new name for it. I said, you know what they are? And they looked at me and they said, yeah, we work there. I said, you know about the big sex scandals? Child kidnapping worldwide. And they went, yeah, we do. It's just like, man, you guys think you're safe? You think that's funny? You just signed on spiritually to what those people did. I mean, I literally spiritually could just see the demons coiling around them and slithering around those cops' souls. I'm not saying I physically saw it. I'm just saying the image in my mind. I was just like, whoa. I mean, I feel so sorry for those childlike, arrested development, cowardly vessels of demonic filth begging to be delivered into hell. And don't worry, you're not going to have to wait till you die to be delivered into hell. It was funny to them when responsibility showed up and talked to them. When one of the scum, who usually are afraid of them and scurry in fear from them, said something to them. I wanted to see what they'd say. You know what? They looked at me, and a couple of them acted thrilled and empowered and said, yeah, we work for them, and had twinkles in their eyes. You just signed on, pal. You're now an accomplice. It's not about the letter of the law. It's about the spirit of the law. You ought to hit your knees and repent to God. I can't imagine the type of karma, reap what you sow, bad luck, whatever you want to call it, that brings on you. To make jokes about that. You know, if you thought I was a liar, you should have gotten my face and told me that. No, but you know I'm not. You just made a joke about it. You just think about those little kids tied up, begging for their lives. Hello. All right, here's the deal. More and more, you notice I get to some of the news, but not a lot of it, because everything is connected. You know, I read an article about being charged with sexual assault, you know, if you're 7 years old or whatever, because you played tag and touched somebody on the leg. Or how kids are being arrested, period, as young as 5. Oh, this is a 6-year-old with a sexual assault, yeah. As young as 5 being arrested just for running. USA Today, Town Hall, all reporting it with straight faces. Like, should we be arresting 5-year-olds? That's like saying, should we be shooting ourselves in the head? No. But it's all about control mechanisms. It's about making the general public criminals. That's why I get so mad when a cop pulls me over and starts asking me what's in my car and asking me if I have drugs. I'm like, are you kidding? Even if I did, which I don't, any moron knows the drugs are shipped in by the government. And then